both these games. I don't know if they're kind of just trolling. I mean, they tend to do that, so wouldn't be surprised. But
I don't
or if
think they're
they
going to be picking it up.
maybe.
Although I would like it, to be honest, with Warbeast. I think it's a pretty decent combo.
Yeah.
Just having that extra damage, and I don't consider Nitro to be that really hard carried hero that you want. Although he can do a lot of damage, he's so easy to pick off. Similar to like a Puppet Master, how you run Puppet Master and a Swiftblade in the same team,
Yeah.
so that you have two carries to deal with.
Man,
That's how I view Nitro, at least.
it really is something too. Seeing complexity in their bands, it's like knowing that they're playing BMG. It's just seeing
So strange.
yeah, banning junglers against BMG is just such nothing against like their previous players or anything like that. But obviously, again, they've never really had the history of being a strong jungling team. But Iceland Gogo, I really think has changed that for sure. So
I mean, even Teltuk before
yeah,
with like his
exactly, yeah.
plays on Parasite, and BMG was also picking up a lot of Warbeast when they had Teltuk as well. So another one of those jungle options. And I mean, I understand that BMG wants to try to ban out Fuzzy Sloth heroes, but that Warbeast just seems to do so much for complexity every time. I mean, it might not seem like it, but the 44 damage per hero is ridiculous. Like in a team fight, you're giving your entire team, 220 extra damage per auto attack.
It's absurd. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
And the global presence that gives them the assist, again, across the board,
The
it is a
scouting,
very
the
strong
split
ability.
pushing. But it's also the fact that what you got plays it so well. He's always just scouting or split farming, split pushing, farming in the enemy's woods with the dogs. Just being as annoying as can be, and teams still don't seem to ban it.
Yeah.
Simply because Fuzzy Sloth needs all the attention almost.
It's interesting to see that ban right there by complexity. They banned the mage ban actually with their first ban. So of course they could pick it up, but they clearly don't want to play it, and obviously they do not want BMG to
I
get
think
it. So.
I think if you go into a game versus a mage bane as complexity, you feel unsure whether you have the late game, and I think that's something they want to avoid.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well,
Sandwraith is still up, but it's not a really nice combo with Warbeast, that being said, so it's unlikely unless, they scout with dogs and then use the ultimate. But
I was going to say, why would you say? Because to me it seems like it actually might be decent, but...
Because Sandwraith can't put a lot of pressure on the lane, and neither can Warbeast. So if they then have a strong suicide...
Okay, so for the laning phase, at least.
Yeah. And then they're behind, and because, Sandwraith can't farm quickly until he has his Mock, and even then does not farm that fast, it's like... It's difficult to have enough space. Like, with a Mage Bane, you have the idea that Mage Bane can split push and farm in dangerous places because of the blink.
Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of my argument for it, but... I mean, even the last game, Warbeast Mage Bane just seems like kind of an off combo.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Like developing into the game is, in fact,
And
there we
then
go. And then they pick it just to add insult to injury, really. No. Okay, well, see, it's understandable to look at that perspective of it, but at the same time, again, with the scouting, with the wolves, with the enhanced damage as we're sitting here talking about the battle cry, especially on Sandwraith and that deserted, he can do a lot of freaking damage with that ultimate. So. I mean, I like it. And then Tundra on top of that. It just seems like it does work well here in the end. But they are greedy. Well, I'll give you that. They definitely is going to be a greedy early game here.
But now, with Tempest on BMG, it kind of does feel like BMG has a chance to go for the late game if they really would want to. So it's not out of the question for them to go for Dark Lady, although he has kind of become weaker. I'm just trying to think here. What really hard carries are still left? Like Malikan could work really well.
I feel like it's been a while since we've seen Silhouette too. And
well, I mean, whenever I see Silhouette, I think I just look at Baltazar, whether he's in the game, and usually it's him playing it.
True.
But they haven't had the most success with Silhouette. I think that's the main problem with that right now. They've gone Tempest Silhouette, and yeah, it's a strong combo, but I mean. They have a lot of lockdown from Legion if Sandwraith ends up getting the Staff of the Master.
You know, I kind of would like here. Well, I don't know, but you know, Scout, Evil Corporation has kind of been running it a little bit here and there as a true carry, and Scout seems like it could have potential here. The disarm alone is obviously very powerful against a War Beast, against a Sandwraith even, and that mobility that he has.
Yeah, there is the issue of Tundra having Avalanche, because I get the feeling that they're able to burst down a Scout within that stun duration, and you invest so much into Scout because he takes up quite a lot of space when he has that Rune Cleaver, and on that note, if Tundra is able to, keep him locked down for his team long enough to burst the Scout, especially with a Kraken on top of it now, the Scout, like as a solo carry, is going to really get wrecked.
They should go Draconis.
Is that even pickable?
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Could you imagine? Whoa!
There we go.
That took a left turn. What? So they're going
Sneaky
push all of a sudden.
Or, yes, they are.
Was that an actual pick? It was. I guess that's the first thing to look at
Is this a dream?
Yeah. Interesting.
And it's Balthazar playing.
I mean, Balfagor is push. Like, there's no question. Like, you do not pick up Balfagor if you're not planning to push, essentially. So.
And Torture is as well.
Yeah. The potential's there with Tempest, too. Absolutely.
But it's just like in our faces right now.
Well, see, it makes a lot of sense though, because one of the strengths here of complexity, it's the greed, but eventually the mid to late game they're going to take over, and they got the hard carries in that sense. They got the gank potential, the individual gank potential. Those two things right there are essentially negated by this idea. We just want to push really early as a team and win the game before you can even get to those points / gank us individually, because we'll always be together. So I kind of like what they went with here.
Yeah, and I like how they built it up in the draft as well, because you see the Torture, you expect them to, it's a strong babysitter, so they can get any carry they want to, because no Suicide can really deal with the Torture. And then they pick the Tempest on top of it and a Behemoth. So then you're already thinking like, oh, they're just going to be, chilling it, waiting for the late game, because Tempest does secure that. He's, in essence, another carry. And Behemoth is just great at defending towers. So you have that all together, and you expect them to pick a late game team, but no, apparently they go for the push strat, and Tempest isn't bad at that. He can get that early Astrolabe. Torture is definitely really strong at that, and then Balfagor as well.
Yeah, it was disguised very well right there. So now the question is, obviously, now it's the part of execution here coming out, and whether or not the timings and everything are going to work out for BMG. But seeing Balthazar on Baker Balfagor here, definitely a fun one.
Yeah, oh, he does have Baker Balfagor. Yep. Nice.
He's playing the Baker Balfagor.
Something about his cookies when he dies.
Yeah, it's like it's something. Yeah, not my cookies or whatever.
Yeah.
This hero, man. This hero's so trollish. Just the idea of it, like the regurgitate throws up essentially, and hell on.
Balfagor vomits burning demonic bile on all enemies in front of him. Just the tooltip of it is enough.
Oh god, and then the skin mixed with it. It's such a great combo there. That and garbage gore, I also would have liked to see as well, but.
And you can't escape the what's it called? You can't escape the cookie
monster.
What am I saying?
What are you saying?
You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. That's it.
You can't catch me on the gingerbread. That is what he says there. On a serious note, though, about Balfagor, his demonic pathogen is actually a pretty solid ability too. I think that's kind of overlooked whenever we happen to see Balfagor, which is obviously very rare.
It's a 4-second silence.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it spreads. The fact that it spreads on top of that in fights. Well, 3.5 seconds to be fair, but still.
Okay, yeah.
It's a good amount of time that could actually be pretty effective. But yeah, being able to choose even your initial target, obviously, to put it on, and then have it spread from there throughout the fight. So.
Although the spread, sometimes you have to stop the pathogen earlier so that you can have it spread to those more people. Because you can end it early and then it bounces to everybody else. Although it would be nice if they had changed it, that demonic pathogen, if you spread it, that it does burst damage immediately. The full, 245 magic damage? Mm-hmm. That would be something to look into.
That would be, yeah.
Because we honestly don't see this hero enough for, all the push meta we've been trying to promote.
In fact, I was even going to look, too, at the hero usage in public games. He's got to be a low, 120 out of 130, so it's across the board. He's really not used a whole lot.
I do know this guy who simply only plays Buffalo Woods, but
yeah,
you always have those types of people.
They're just weird. Yeah, there's a guy that's known for just playing, like, Jungle Artesia. It's just like, what the
Yeah, but he can't play it anymore. It doesn't work anymore because of the changes.
Yep. No, they're not balancing around that one player. So.
No, but although, on that note, the new Artesia is pretty ridiculous.
The heal and everything, yeah.
Yeah, the heal, especially the heal.
I haven't been. I only played it a couple of
games.
Look at
Tundra. Look at Tundra, by the way. Look at Tundra right now.
Where's Tundra? Tundra's over here.
He just lasted at the Catman champion.
Okay.
From Balfagor.
That's unfortunate. So yeah, Balf trying to do a little bit of a jungle here. Well, I guess with the creep pull.
Yeah, because he with the Warbeast pulling the dog. Oh no. Okay, so Torture is gonna get solo XP for a wave.
Well, the worst thing ever, I guess, but probably not as planned here. Aluna going at it with Behemoth. Behemoth to go boots first, no regen. So he has to be a little careful about that. A lot of pressure on him.
Oh, I think he might be dead, actually.
He might be dead, yeah, Power Throw.
He's dead for sure.
Oh my
what?
gosh. 5 life, I think. That's what he was at. Yeah. Ouch. Well, he lives. That's important. Gonna have to walk all the way back to base. So again, it's still not the worst thing ever that they didn't get it, but at the same time, yeah, it would have been nice to get that bounty and the bloodless kill and everything. So unfortunate they did not.
Looking at the Legion team, though, they have so much counter push. And with just Tundra, the Desert's Curse, even, summon Hellhounds to make the dogs run a different direction, but Tundra as well. 400 mixed damage with those piercing shards. Like, even Power Throw and that should be enough to push.
Yeah. See, that's kind of interesting for complexity. It's... Do they just... They're going to ideally have to kind of push towers themselves because, obviously they're not going to be able to necessarily hold early on, despite having counter push abilities, but what are they going to do to kind of counter that? But then also on BMG side of things, how do they?
How are they going to get those towers,
Yeah.
If Tundra is getting levels like he is simply because of that early pull, then yeah. Oscar already has boots. And he's actually doing quite good on GPM, 220, and Balthazar is only at 230 right now.
Yeah, he had that awkward start, obviously getting stolen out of the Catman champion, as you mentioned, and having to deal with the creep pull and everything. So, yeah, not the prettiest of starts for Balfagor. But, again, getting levels is the highest priority, and then starting to make that push happen, and kind of getting the farm from that then. But still, like to see better for sure. So, Kraken versus Pharaoh is what it ends up middle lane. Pharaoh is also another kind of interesting pick, too, from BMG.
He's really good when pushing towers to scout around the tower using the rocket.
Okay.
And then to initiate, because if Tundra and Luna are allowed to just stand behind the tower and use their abilities to counter push, having a Pharaoh can also nullify that because he can just jump in and kill them. Because essentially he's going to get a lot of farm, and I'm assuming he's going to go for a puzzle box because that's honestly going to do wonders this game.
Yeah, makes a pushing / helping a gank individually even, so
yeah.
Could definitely see that possibility. And as you mentioned, it's being played by Boxy here in the middle lane, so definitely expecting decent farm on him. In fact, he's in trouble,
he's actually dead.
Oh my gosh. Just as we're sitting here praising and talking about it, the Caster's Curse kicks in. And Fuzzy Sloth gets revenge from last game, that's for sure. Takes him out.
1v1 now.
Well.
But Pharaoh's a really strong 1v1 hero, but so is Kraken, especially versus a melee, and that's a dead behemoth. Is it? No, it's not. Okay. That port coming in then.
Scared him off in the end.
I mean, he did have Kraken ulti and a haste on top of that, and I don't think there's anything Pharaoh can do.
That's true.
Fuzzy Sloth just had... Oh, he might be going for the Pharaoh?
I feel like he could, because, yeah, as you're getting at, he can charge through the mummy walls, worst case, so... He needs to escape, but yeah, he's not going to go for anything here.
He might go now with Hellfire being down. Man, that skill has a ridiculously long cooldown.
The Hellfire, yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed it.
Seconds, jeez.
At level 1.
It goes down to 20, but still. It's a good amount of time, yeah. For a Q ability. But Kraken, again, back to Fuzzy Sloth, though, he's obviously... Now, up until that point, before that kill, you know, actually Pharaoh was winning the Grief Farm. In fact, he still definitely is. I mean, 30-7 compared to a 19-1 Kraken, actually. Wow. That's
Which is also
surprising.
something, yeah, especially seeing as Kraken has Splash.
Yeah.
But then again, Pharaoh does have the rocket.
True. Is he maxing that out, by the way? Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why Hellfire is on level 1. But yeah, he's making sure to get all those last hits.
And he is level 6 now. But all right, let's focus on a couple of these other lanes here. Bottom lane, actually, Sandwraith is doing the free farm thing. 410 gold per minute here for Formless. So once again, oh, that's a pause here.
And Iceland Gogo is doing the disconnecting thing.
Yeah.
He is going for that early Astrolabe, and he has it in 20 gold, 15 gold, I think. Yeah, and then they can go start pushing top. Balfgor's almost level 7, well, quarter of the way there. But then there's not much that Tundra can do.
Yeah, expect to see, obviously, again, especially with the push mentality. Balfgor in itself, though, kind of really one of these aura-heavy heroes. Tanky, so something like the Plate of Greaves. We'll see where he goes from there. So maybe like a Barrier Idol, even.
Yeah.
For this team, but...
Mana Ring would also be a good pickup, in my opinion.
True.
But Tempest might actually even pick that up after the Astrolabe.
I think Energizer actually could be pretty important to have, too, this game. All the minions, especially.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Fusen could also go for that, though.
True.
And they're going to be pushing a lot of towers, so if he gets gold from that, which he most definitely should, then picking up an Energizer isn't the craziest idea. But Boxy really should just go for the puzzle box, in my opinion. There's no better item in this game.
I wonder, I mean, do we know what he's going for yet? He does have the crushing, so probably going to be a Blood Chalice here, at least first. But
or he just has that early on.
True. Doesn't have to be. Well, he is playing okay, he's going to buy a shield level 5, actually. So going to go for Plated Greaves here. So he's going to go the Plated Greaves. Interesting. Oh, yeah, Steam Boots on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that for the extra mana.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus it makes Pharaoh a lot tankier.
Yeah.
Because Balfgor has a lot of strength gain and a lot of maximum HP now with the Steam Boots, but you have Boxy now with 9.3 armor and the ability to give armor to his team. Like, armor boots are another one of those boots that, well, it's just a type of boots we don't see often enough almost. Because it's really cheap as well. Compared to Steam Boots and Ghost Marchers, it's like 200 gold cheaper, and on some mid-heroes you could argue that it'd be better.
Yeah. Oh, Behemoth, he goes down. Sandwraith again with that battle cry. It's so much damage. Deserted battle cry, only level 2 deserted even. No chance really for Behemoth. Only level 1 battle cry for that matter. So yeah, it's not even really maximum efficiency by any means. But still, a lot of damage to come out. So here continues that push though. Obviously they know Behemoth is dead. He's going to resurrect though. Maybe port up here, but can they stop this? Probably not. That's what we expected, though. It's just too much of a push. Oh, Kraken's coming over, however.
And so is Tempest. So now they have the double creep army, but as I said, Tundra Luna is not very bad at counter pushing.
Now, Behemoth did pour back bottom, so they know Behemoth wouldn't be here best case, but it's just still not enough. They're just going to let it fall.
Without a portal key on Kraken, they have no real way of initiating. And I mean, they also have a War Beast who has an Abyssal split pushing, which is great, but still not the same impact as Tempest right now. Especially with that Astrolabe on top of it.
Yeah, the Aura item's definitely coming out here pretty powerfully for BMG, and they make their way to the middle lane, and here we go, round 2. So now it's the middle lane's turn. Behemoth still at the bottom. It's interesting how Behemoth is not joining that team. He's taking his whole experience. He's going to ulti onto Sandra. If he gets a solo kill. Oh, one more auto attack. He can't get it off, though. Barely survived. Maybe the rocket. If the rocket hits, that's going to be big. I don't think it is, though. Oh, my gosh. It almost
was
like
going all the way bottom right. But, yeah, Make falls to the Warbies. It was just like the endless chase, it seemed.
Yeah. Whew, that would have
But,
been
man,
huge.
there's so much push coming out from Hellborn's side.
And obviously, they know Sandwraith isn't going to be joining this fight here anytime soon. He's going back to regen after nearly dying right there. So this is probably going to be another secondary tower. Pre-10 minutes. Man, they got old towers killed 20 minutes last game. Just push let up. They have 4 now. Just under 10 minutes here. Probably going to make their way towards bottom now.
500 gold per minute buff score. All right.
Yeah.
That's not something we see very much.
After a rough start, too. Yeah, that also kind of... Oh,
well
the Black Legion? Jeez.
He's going to not really die.
That's the idea.
14. Yeah. Barrier next, I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah. I can't keep the LBR1 and let us something like a barrier. There's the Gnomes actually picked up by Tempest, so good pick up there, too.
And they're going to go Kong.
All right.
They do have a Pharaoh, of course. And all those creeps.
And a lot of creeps. That should be a pretty easy Conger kill. And again, it's a case of even if Complexity knows this is happening, there's just no point. Let's just let them have it. Let's get some farm in the meantime. Pretty much what they're doing here.
They're getting top tower, I think. Yep.
I'm going to make that happen. So at least get, again, something out of this. But Conger will fall. Now, I will say BMG, the gold lead isn't overwhelming by any means. So for a... the Hellhounds, by the way. Oh, man. He tried to steal the Conger, or if anything, kill the token, but they were aware of that. They actually killed him first, so...
Are they just going to go straight mid right now? I mean, you see how much pressure Complexity is putting on the other outer towers from BMG, so I have to expect them to just go for the base. I mean, what's stopping them? Getting those 2 bottom towers, sure, would be fine, would be great and all, but yeah. The amount of creeps that they have is just too much, and Balfagor also has the token, so he's just going to be hitting it. They should spread out the creeps so that they don't get hit by both abilities.
I see right there. Good piercing shards. But no, yeah, I like this decision. I'm with you because it's just like I feel like these push lineups, sometimes they do get caught up in trying to clear all the tower kills and then trying to push. But that sometimes gives the other team a little too much time to kind of recover early on and get.
And look at this, all the armor.
Yeah.
The AoE armor coming out from Hellborn is too much for the piercing shards.
Yeah, no, they can't stop this, and I don't think they're going to be able to save this Rax. I mean, well, they're going to try for it. Sandwraith, he is going to ulti. Will he go in? He's not going in just yet, actually. The real one's staying behind. Nice spread there, and here we go with the counter. Tundra going to get caught by Pharaoh, but the Mummy Wall does not catch him. In comes to release the Kraken, but the hell on Neuwirth will finish off Tundra. Tundra buyback, however. So he's coming back in. They need to be careful about that. He still has his Avalanche ready to go. But look at the Hellborn team. I mean, no one's really low. They still have plenty of life to work with right here.
And Warbeast has no ulti. Sandwraith has no ulti. So this Rax...
That's a dead Rax.
Come on, it's going to drop, right? I mean, come on, he has token.
Balfagor is so little damage, but it is enough right there to get the kill. Kraken's like he wants something, though. PK's in, gets the kill to Tempest. So they do get 1 pick off here. That might be the end of it, though. They need to be careful. Behemoth does have a shockwave. If they get baited into a fight here, that could be a turn for the Hellborn
no hell on
team.
Neuwirth, though.
20 seconds. So, yeah, nothing just yet. Oh, Torture, barely alive. Nope, Torment hits him. Gets the kill. Look at Balfagor, though. He's like, yeah, come at me, bro. What are you going to do?
Tempest, buyback.
Tickle me. Buyback Tempest. He's porting back in. Trying to get here at least. Oh, he is here. Yeah,
he's already here. But there's a PK from Make, and Formless is going to go down.
Make.
When they can catch another one, Pharaoh has ulti in 13.
Portal key mid-fight. That's a big pickup.
Yeah.
And he does not have a buyback.
Exactly. So the High just picked up, so they're just going to go for the free range tracks.
That's all I'm saying for Complexity. I mean, I don't think they really should have looked to chase that much and try to make the fight happen. I mean, it's kind of a hindsight deal now, but clearly not the best decision. And now the range tracks is also going to fall. as mentioned, well, pretty likely at least. I'm surprised it's not dead yet.
Balfagor is just heating up constantly from the corpses.
I mean, he has the token, so if anything, honestly, if he dies here, you know, again, not a big deal. They'll deny it, but still a dead Rax. That's what matters. So, 14 minutes in. They've already pushed a middle Rax here on BMG's side, so.
All right. So they have everything they need to just do the exact same thing at top lane.
Yeah.
They have the portal key now on Make.
I do want to be clear, though, that, I mean, this game is not over because of that, though.
No. But it's looking pretty grim for Complexity by any means. Even if Formless gets the Mach, the Astrolabe is going to counter that ultimate completely. And I mean, Make doesn't even need to ulti immediately because they've got so much sustain with the Gnomes and the Astrolabe that, yeah. You know what I mean? He can just wait out the Sandwraith ulti and then look for a good opportunity to jump. There's no stress at all.
Oh, yeah. The regen here, it's very nice, again, across the board. And the Astrolabe, everything. So, say 1 sec, again, I'm pretty confident this is them kind of talking over here. Where do they go from here? Maybe push the top lane. Again, we still have both towers up bottom, but it seems like that they are going to go top and instead go for the Rax once again.
I think the 2 Rax really just secures the game, though, because the Legion team does not have a good way to push out 3 lanes at a time. Sure, they can push out 2, you know, bottom and, I mean, they can push out mid right now, and then the lane that's coming, the lane at top lane, that's going to be pushed in now, but keeping 3 lanes back is going to be way too difficult.
Yeah. I gotta say, again, it does feel kind of weird, though, seeing that this Hellborn team, there's no gold lead. In fact, it's very slight in favor of Complexity, and then they experience that courses in their favor. So, yes, they're up a Rax, but that's why I go back to, though. This is definitely not an over game. Now, if they get these top Rax, then yes, BMG feels really good here.
The gold they did invest, though, is far more team-oriented. So their gold could be argued that it's more effective than the gold picked up from Complexity. I mean, the items from Complexity. And Kraken is actually taking a lot of damage right now.
He's dead. He's going to die right here. Let's get charge away. He can't even get up the ultimate. He finally will. Just kind of a might as well do it because I'm going to die anyways. Balfagor has got Elemental Void used, however, in the midst of it, hoping that he would catch somebody that would chase him. But they did a good job of not going in full throttle. So you do see the hold is successful from Complexity here, actually.
And look at that item Pharaoh picked up.
I saw that,
Trap.
The Soul Trap, I was going to mention that.
That's a huge item this game, actually.
And it did get buffed here.
Having the cooldown be reduced to 5 seconds between charges. 2 seconds. My god.
Yeah.
Okay, so now puzzle box is down. So that's that's like 3k gold from what you got now wasted.
Yeah. He's not going to have that up for 45 seconds here. That's true. That's pretty costly. But not having that up. Now Mach really is picked up. So this could be big right here. They don't know this either. There we go. The ultimate use from Sandwraith. He does pour it in. He's in the background, but he needs to be careful as he is pretty fragile. Obviously, the Hellborn team knows this. So look at Formless, though. He's kiting away. So they kind of didn't really commit there all the way. And actually, they're just going to reset once again. So, yeah, the Soul Trap really helping with the idea of resetting here, as well as just every single other item.
The Gnomes spamming of spells. Here's the Kraken charge zone.
It does catch Torture. Torture goes down. Ella Newworth, a pretty big one at that. Kraken will fall from this eventually, but Tempest dead in the background. But Sandwraith is caught. Shockwave. The combo from Behemoth isn't enough for the kill. It's not actually. Behemoth goes down, and now Pharaoh's in trouble, actually, being chased back. Balfagor's all of a sudden by himself. No token on him anymore. And they're going to look to get the kill on him in the end. Now, again, he is really tanky, but not tanky enough. Genocide for Complexity. And now here comes the comeback from coL here.
I'm just so confused. I really thought that Warbeast had used this puzzle box before, but it must have just gone off cooldown.
It just did, yeah.
But, I mean, with the fact that they didn't have the Elemental Void and that it was Fusen who got charged, I think that's the biggest thing, because Fusen does so much work in these team fights with that chain reaction stun. It's one of their few, I don't have to go all in stun.
Yeah.
I guess Make does have his Fisher as well, but you would use that more on a Warbeast right now who's getting jumped.
No, he's good. Yeah, no shockwave on Behemoth there, so not nearly enough damage.
But really, the only chance BMG has is to just go top again, and this is where I dislike the Pharaoh pick, if anything.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he just doesn't do enough. Sure, just now he got the Kraken, but, like, he doesn't have a big team AoE ulti. He has, like, a ganking ulti. Whereas you look at his team, and it's all a huge AoE.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about what they could have had differently instead of a Pharaoh. And
Magnus.
Well, Magnus, I was even thinking along the lines of like a Dimension Shaman. But now
then it would have been too obvious.
Exactly. To be fair, yeah, fourth pick Demented is like, wait a second, what's going on here? So, yes, I do agree there. But what was the final pick on Complexity set? It was Kraken, right? So
yeah.
I guess they may have then not picked Kraken and something else possibly. I don't know, but yeah, that's true though. But yeah, something like a Magnus definitely would not have given anything away.
I think Magnus would have been a really good pick. He was not banned either. I remember checking that as well.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, but here's the push.
This is, you gotta feel this is almost like the game push right here, but here we go. Sandwraith ultimate, Kraken, and release Kraken in the background. Behemoth, he's dead, no shockwave from him. The Ella Newer does come out, Kraken will fall. They do get the kill and torture though. Sandwraith's still plenty alive meanwhile, actually, as well as Warbeast for that matter. Pharaoh's gonna fall. Valthor trying to kill Sandwraith, but he just doesn't have the damage, and he will go down. It's another genocide for Complexity, a hat trick for what you got. And like I was saying, I mean, it's not a 100% game, but losing two pushes like that with a all-out push lineup, you got to feel now Complexity's in control here.
More than in control. I think they just won the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am getting the feeling that Ice and Gogo is not getting very good ultis off this game, and it's difficult. He got charged in by Kraken, and then ultied by Kraken and everything, but he also got a Luna Stun, and that should be about it. If then Oscar does not use his Avalanche on him, then he should be free to ulti. And he's tanky as well, so yeah, he's just not getting the best ultis off, and that's also credit for Sandrith always going in the back of the fight, going on Make, going on Torture, just making sure to bring those down.
Yeah, not having that initiation tool such as, of course, the portal key, or you could argue probably even the tablet this game might even be more effective in the end. It obviously doesn't help his cause either. So he did go the very heavy RL support, which again we mentioned was a great choice. But yeah, not having that extra mobility to land some big ultimates, perhaps costing them in some of these fights too. But Kongor, they're going to get a second Kongor here, it looks like at least.
Are they? I mean, Kraken is moving in with the Veiled Rod.
I don't think they're going to get here in time, though.
He might steal it, though.
Samwraith, no ultimate for 7 seconds. Oh, they're going to catch Kraken.
Of course.
Okay, so now they're going to try to make a play onto him. Is this going to work out, though, is the question with that. Release of Kraken catches Balfagor, by the way, off to the side. Kraken is going to fall. But now you see the Legion team. They're going to take out Torture, probably try to finish Kongor even on top of that. Meanwhile, Tempest goes down. And yeah, Balfagor, he's being chased back now. He does not have a buyback if he falls. He does right there, so he's staying dead. Warbeast is just so strong right now, as well as Sandwraith, of course. And they're going to clean up this fight. Is this going to be the third genocide? It's not going to be a full genocide here, but it is going to be a 4-for-1. And they will probably steal Kongor now officially. So yeah, their base is taking a little bit of pressure here, but
it's not enough to be, a threat by any means.
Yeah. So this is going to be a Kongor kill, and now a token actually for the side of Complexity. And yeah, you look at the goal per minute charts now. I mean, Sandwraith and Warbeast so ahead, and yeah, BMG is just going to throw in the towel. It's just too many tries to break through, and unfortunately, coming up just short in the end. So Complexity, well, a little bit of a scare there at points, and going up against a really strong BMG team as of late here, especially the Cycle. Definitely no guarantees here at all, but they do start off strong here in these playoffs, and as they will take them out 2-0 to advance on. So it's got to be a little bit of a sigh of relief for Complexity at least, but still a lot of work to be done here going into tomorrow. But yeah, your final thoughts on that game here and the strat from BMG especially?
I mean, their whole idea. I have a feeling that they wanted to go for a different draft at the start, which is like why Pharaoh might have been picked. Because I really feel that Pharaoh is just not really, first of all, a boxy hero, and second of all, a really effective hero in pushes. You usually want the Pharaoh to, create a lot of chaos in team fights with his mummy walls, but when Sandwraith walks through it, Warbeast just kills him if he's in the in the mummy walls. It does not feel that effective by any means.
It was fun to see that because that was definitely one of the more impactful push lineups we've seen. I think it's safe to say. Usually, it feels like a lot of these push lineups just kind of die right away, and they just don't accomplish anything. It's a fun idea, but it rarely seems like it works, frankly. But BMG definitely they had the right mindset, and a lot of these items and everything were great. But yeah, maybe Pharaoh a little bit out of place, even with that. So even going the Soul Trap on top of that, though, that was great to see because that seems like this is a lineup where that would be very useful in. And it was definitely fun. It was fun by them to go out and kind of go for that and try to catch Complexity off guard. But, yeah, Complexity, a little too much restraint there in the end, and they do come back. Like I said, a sigh of relief, I'm sure, from them, especially going up against that push strat. That's got to be scary in the earlier stage. But they come through, and they're going to be moving on to tomorrow. And with that mentioned, let me pull up the brackets here. So here we go. Again, they're now in the Losers Bracket Finals. They're going to be playing the loser of our later series here. Evo Corporation versus Sync Esports, of course. Going to be coming up here from the Winter Bracket Finals in just a little bit. And I believe they're set to be starting at the default time of what would be about 20 minutes from now is what we're looking at. So even with this series getting an hour late start, we still managed to have it end fairly quickly in the end. A little bit surprising, I gotta say, but it is.
That's partially due to the push strat and the mage man just going out of control.
That's how it works. So Complexity again, feeling good about that. But so again, it's getting really interesting here. And now I think I speak for a lot of people, at least, if not almost everyone here, is that the ideal grand finals will be Sync versus Complexity, simply because of what is on the line. But ECX, they're kind of this team that's also a part of these three, and very possibly potential to be player of an upset here in one way or another. So that's going to be this is going to be a lot of fun to see how things shape up here with both later today and now tomorrow, especially knowing Complexity. Could you imagine if Evo Corporation wins later today, and that would mean Sync versus